Have you ever made a cup of coffee just for the sound of it brewing, the warmth it brings, but then found yourself staring out the window, realizing it's been days since you had a real conversation that didn't come from the TV? Retirement gives us something precious: time. But if we're not careful, time without connection can start to feel more like distance. Not from the world exactly, but from the kind of laughter that echoes in your chest, or the kind of silence you only share with someone who really sees you. If you've ever thought, "I didn't expect this part to feel so quiet," you're not alone. The truth is, making new friends in retirement isn't about being outgoing or lucky. It's about intention, small shifts, and choosing not to disappear. And the good news, it's absolutely possible, joyfully possible. In today's video, we're going to talk about 4 steps, practical, proven, and rooted in kindness, that can gently help you open new doors to friendship again. Whether you're freshly retired or have been for a while, whether you've just moved to a new town or have lived in the same place for 30 years, this is for you. Before we begin, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and tap the notification bell so you won't miss the simple, powerful lessons we share here each week. Lessons about living well, aging with joy, and making the most of every chapter. Your support means the world to me and to this growing community of wise elders. If you enjoy what we talk about today, I'd be honored if you liked the video, shared it with someone who might need it, and left a comment below about what kind of support or connection you're looking for in this season. You are never too old to feel seen. Let's start with something honest and gentle. One of the hardest things about forming new friendships later in life is the quiet voice in the back of your mind that whispers, "Everyone already has their people." That feeling that you're showing up to a party that started years ago and you missed your invitation. But that's just a story, not a truth, you see. The first step in building new friendships in retirement isn't about finding the right club or app or group. It's about believing that new connections are still available to you. It's about changing the channel on that inner voice that says, "It's too late," or "You're too set in your ways," or "Everyone else already has their circle." People of every age feel lonely. People of every age want to be asked how their day went. So when you start by adjusting your inner conversation, replacing doubt with possibility, you show up differently. You become someone who doesn't shrink in public places, who smiles first, who says hello in the elevator, or comments on the weather, not just out of habit, but out of hope. I know it sounds simple, but I also know how brave it is. Saying "I believe someone out there would be lucky to know me" is not just self-talk, it's an open door. And the more you walk through that door in small ways, striking up conversation in line at the pharmacy, asking your neighbor how her garden is doing, even just offering a compliment at the post office, the more connection you attract. You become magnetic not because you're performing, but because you're present. And presence, that soft but powerful decision to show up as you are, is the soil where friendship grows. Now, once that mindset shift begins to settle in, once the inner voice is no longer holding you back quite so much, something beautiful happens next. You begin to feel the quiet courage to take the next step, not just opening up your mind to the possibility of new friendships, but opening up your life a little too. Because the second step to building new friendships after 60 isn't about chasing people, it's about putting yourself where connection is most likely to happen and letting it find you naturally. Now I know, stepping into something new, especially when routines feel comfortable, can be daunting. After all, you've probably spent decades taking care of others, fulfilling responsibilities, meeting deadlines, and putting your own needs at the end of a long list. So by the time retirement rolls around, it feels tempting to just rest, to protect your peace, to stay home where everything is familiar and safe. But here's the gentle truth. Joy doesn't always visit us on the couch. Sometimes it waits for us just outside our comfort zone, one room over or one park bench away. This doesn't mean you need to pack your calendar or reinvent your life. It just means creating a rhythm that invites new energy in. Maybe it's joining a weekly book group at the library, not because you love every book, but because you'll love being in a room where people listen and share. Maybe it's volunteering at the community garden, helping water the tomatoes, and trading small talk over the scent of earth and sunlight. Maybe it's walking your dog at the same time each morning, on the same path, so you begin to recognize familiar faces and become one yourself. The secret is consistency. The more often you show up to the same places with the same people, the more likely it is that one of those smiles becomes a good morning. Then a "how have you been?" and eventually a "want to grab coffee sometime." People trust what they see repeatedly, and showing up regularly without pressure. Just with openness is one of the most magnetic things you can do. If you're someone who says, "I'm not the social type," or "I never know what to say," here's a little tip. You don't need to be the one who fills the space. Be the one who creates it. Ask gentle questions. Notice details. "That's a beautiful scarf. Does it have a story?" "I saw you reading last week. Was it a good one?" Little moments like that plant the seeds of future conversations. And if it feels awkward the first few times, that's okay. That means you're stretching, you're growing. Think of it like gardening. Things rarely bloom the moment you plant them, but with patience, water, sunlight, and a bit of faith, they do when you offer that same patience and presence to your social life. What grows may surprise you. Sometimes it's a friendship that starts with shared jokes over jigsaw puzzles. Sometimes it's someone who becomes your weekly lunch buddy. And sometimes the best part isn't the connection itself, if it's how good it feels to remember you can still connect at all. So now that you've welcomed the idea of new friendships in your heart and taken that brave first step to invite them into your life, it's time to nurture them in a way that feels both natural and nourishing. The part that happens after the first hello, after you've chatted twice at the garden club or exchanged smiles at the dog park. It's about deepening those early interactions. Without making it feel like a chore or a chase. You see, after 60, most of us aren't looking for large crowds or surface-level chats. We crave something quieter, truer. We want companionship that fits like an old sweater, comfortable, soft, dependable. And to get there, we have to offer something real of ourselves. That means letting go of the small talk just enough to show someone a glimpse of who you really are. Not everything, not all at once, but a sliver, a story from your past, a challenge. You faced a memory that made you laugh. Vulnerability doesn't mean weakness, it means extending a bridge. And more often than not, someone will meet you halfway across it, like the woman who joined a knitting circle, not because she needed another scarf, but because she missed the hum of friendly chatter. At first, she just listened. Then, one day, one woman reached over and touched her hand. That moment, that small reveal turned a table of strangers into something more. People connect when they feel seen. So the more you allow your authentic self to show the parts with scars, with humor, with wisdom earned through years, the more your presence invites the same in return. Now, I know this isn't always easy. After years of wearing roles parent, you get to rediscover the parts that got tucked away, and you get to share them with people who aren't just passing through their searching, just like you. So how do you nurture those early connections? Start simple. Send a note or make a quick call. Say, "It was nice talking to you the other day. Would you like to grab tea sometime?" Extend an invitation, not an obligation. Keep it light. Keep it kind. And if they say no or seem unsure, let it go with grace. The right people will say yes. Just one or two who make you feel at home when you speak. People who remember your stories, check in when it rains, and make you feel like your presence matters. Because it does. And the most beautiful part, when you give that kind of presence to others, it circles back to you. Sometimes quietly, sometimes in unexpected ways, but always with warmth. So now that you've created space for connection, stepped forward with consistency, and opened up with honesty, there's one last step that weaves it all together. Because once you've made space, shown up with care, and opened your heart just a little, there's one last piece that quietly sustains everything you've built. You have to tend to it. Like a garden, like anything precious. Friendships, in retirement, don't survive by accident. They grow when you show up, again and again, even in small, gentle ways. That doesn't mean you need to fill your calendar or make big plans every week. It means you stay present. You check in. You leave the porch light on, metaphorically speaking, so people know they're welcome. Maybe you call your neighbor just to ask how her doctor visit went. Maybe you leave a book on a friend's doorstep with a note that says, "This one made me laugh, and I thought of you." Maybe you invite someone over for a cup of coffee, not because you need something, but because you simply enjoy their company. Small gestures carry more weight than we think, especially at this age, especially when loneliness sometimes hides. behind polite smiles. But here's what else is true. Sometimes you will need that porch light. You'll have hard days, quiet weeks. Maybe you'll go through something you didn't see coming. An illness, a loss, a change in plans. In those moments, real friendship becomes a net. Not to catch you, but to remind you that you're not falling alone. I remember a man who joined a local woodworking group late in life. He'd lost his wife, and for a long time, he didn't speak much. Just sanded his projects in silence. But one winter, when he didn't show up for 2 weeks, the group noticed. They called. One drove by. Turned out he'd caught the flu and hadn't felt up to going out. The next meeting, they brought him soup and helped him finish the stool he'd started. That's what friendship becomes when it's rooted in care. It doesn't demand, it notices, it shows up. And as much as we talk about finding friends, the real secret might be this: become the kind of friend you would want. Offer the energy you wish would find you. Be the first to wave, be the first to forgive, be the first to say, "I'm thinking of you." Because even if you're starting fresh, even if you've moved cities or said goodbye to old circles, it is never too late to build something meaningful. The truth is, retirement isn't an ending. It's a rebalancing, a new rhythm, a chance to live by your own compass. And connection, true, soulful connection is this new rhythm, its richness. So whether you're seeking new bonds, rebuilding old ones, or learning to be okay with fewer but deeper ties, you're not doing it alone. Thousands of people your age are quietly trying, hoping, waiting. Be the one who takes the first step. Because every friendship starts with a tiny moment of courage. And when you look back years from now, you might realize that saying hello in the coffee line, or joining that book club, or asking your neighbor about her rose bushes, turned into something that made all the difference. And if you're still wondering whether it's worth the effort, if it's too late, if friendship at this age is possible or even necessary, I want you to imagine something for a moment. Picture yourself a few years from now, sitting at a table with someone who knows you, really knows you. The kind of friend who remembers your favorite mug, who brings up your stories before you do, who sees your silences not as gaps but as pauses that deserve patience. Now imagine that this person only exists in your life because today you made a decision. You chose to open a little window of your day and let someone in. That's how it happens. Not through big declarations, but tiny permissions. You said yes to that invite. You lingered a little longer after class. You smiled back. Instead of turning away. These moments aren't loud, but they echo across years. And I know this isn't always easy. Many people your age are navigating grief, change, or fatigue. You might be the caregiver now. You might be the one healing from something that took a lot out of you. But that's exactly why friendship matters. Because we need more than prescriptions and routines. We need to feel seen, to feel that our days aren't passing by unnoticed, that we still matter to someone. And here's the beautiful truth. You always have. There are people out there right now wishing they had someone to share a walk with, someone to exchange garden clippings with, someone to sit beside in comfortable quiet. You could be that person for them. They could be that person for you. So, as we close today's conversation, I want to leave you with this. Your heart didn't stop growing just because the world got quieter. You are still someone worth knowing, worth befriending, worth spending. Time with retirement isn't about retreating. It's about rewriting. And every new friend you welcome is a new chapter waiting to be lived. If any of this resonated with you today, if it sparked a memory, or maybe a little hope, I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me about the friendships that shaped the ones you're hoping to find next. And if you found even one piece of comfort or inspiration here, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps others like you find their way to our little community. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss a conversation like this one. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope you walk away with more warmth, more confidence, and a little more courage to say hello. Here's to new friendships and to the life you're still building. One beautiful moment at a time.